Welcome to the AlephBais materials. You will recall in the Hashkafa series that we covered what we call three parts to the learning process. There's the Matan Torah, that's the first step, meaning the gift of information that the child cannot come to on their own without the Rebbe Mura gifting it to them. So that's why it's called Matan Torah, the Matana, the gift. Number two of the learning process is Chazara, review. That after the child has been gifted with Suras Ais, the shape of the letter, the name of the letter, the beginning sound of the letter, Bais, Gimel. Now the child has to do review, Chazara, on their own with lots of different materials. When it comes to, let's say, Psukim, they'll review the Psukim again and again till they know it Baal Peh, but they'll also able to identify the shirashim, prefix suffixes inside that pasuk. Learning Mishnayos, they're gifted the meaning of the words and the pashup pshat, but they have to do chazara, review, in order to get the third level, which is kinyan. Kinyan means mastery. They own it. And that goes throughout any type of learning. This is a very simple template. It's extremely simple. Matana, gift, chazara, review, kinyan, ownership, mastery. So I'm going to ask you to pay attention as we now go through a three-part lesson and identify for yourself which part of it is the matana, which part is the chazara, and then the kinyan. The remaining activities, you'll probably note, are all chazara, leading to kinyan, that are in the domain of Suras Ais, maintaining building and nurturing a very clear identification of the tzura, the exact shape of every letter. So that with lots of chazara, lots and lots of review, with lots of different materials and many different fonts of the same Aleph base, what's going to happen is that the child's mind is paying attention to the subtle differences in the shapes. So that essentially it becomes so clear to the child the exact difference between a yud and a vav and the end of nun, even though they all have very similar shape. The exact difference between a chaf and a nun. Some children are not noticing the distinction, but once they have used lots of materials, it's going to become very clear. Some children might confuse the mem and the tes, but after using materials again and again of lots of different fonts of mem and tes, eventually it becomes very clear in their mind the exact distinction between them. And that will go for all the other letters that they might confuse, a nun and a gimel, or a pei and a fei, a base and a pei. So this is all about deepening the child's discriminatory ability to discriminate the shape between one ice and another. And this is not small, it's gigantic, because it leads to a confidence and eventually accuracy and fluency in reading. A confidence that I can, and then accuracy based on this subtle distinction between one ice and another, and then that will lead into fluency, because once the child can read accurately, fluency is just a matter of time. But accuracy is really the first goal. So with no further ado, let's look at how we do a three-part lesson using the first three letters of the Aleph base. Moshe, I'm introducing the child now to the actual materials. I noticed that yesterday, when I was working with Mordechai, you came over and you watched what I was doing. It looked like you were interested. Would you like me to show you a lesson in the Aleph base like I did with Mordechai? Yes? Okay. Come, sit next to me. Moshe, this is an Aleph. Can you say Aleph? Good. Aleph. Base. Gimel. Moshe, can you point to the Gimel? Very good. Can you point to the base? Thank you. Can you point to the Aleph? Can you put the Aleph in my hand? Can you put the base in my hand? can you put the Gimel in my hand? That's pretty much the lesson. I'm just going to explain. The reason why I asked him to give me the Aleph first is because it's the law of recency. Meaning, the last item I had put down was the Aleph, and so I asked him, can you point to the Aleph and give me the Aleph, the base, and then the Gimel. So, in the law of recency, you want to set the child up for success, so that if Gimel is the last letter I place down, I'll ask him, can you point to the Gimel, not to the Aleph? And then the base, that was the next item that he most recently, and then finally the Aleph. So that's an important nakuda to bear in mind when you're working with the children. Always utilize the law of recency to the benefit of the child. Welcome to Aleph-Bais puzzle sticks. Here you have a control chart, and you've got a number of different sticks, wooden, colored, and based on the control chart, you can make from these 8 items every single one of the ices of the Aleph-Bais. Aleph, to base, all the ices. You have all the shapes here. Another extension of this is to throw a die, and you get to choose 2 of the colors here. You've got yellow and blue, and see which one of these you can start. And then it might be your partner's turn, and he gets to choose until you actually finish an entire ice. Once he's done this many times, and he's really good at it, he can close the control chart and pull out a random letter from a pile of the ices, and based on that letter, from memory, he'll be able to reconstruct the entire ice, knowing which sticks to put together. Welcome to Crocodile Clothespins. We are going to search for food. These crocodiles are hungry. Hey. The crocodiles can be selected according to the ices that you want the child to focus on. Either ones they've already succeeded in doing so, they're set up for success, or giving them also the ones that they're struggling with, so they really are practicing with the ices that they're mixing up. And of course, they do not have to be in sequence. You can put the crocodiles, clothes pegs, out of sequence too. Have fun. Here we have crayon tracing over the sandpaper letters. We've already said in the introduction about inviting a child, so I'm just giving you an example where, let's say, one of the kids' name is Gershon. Gershon, what's the first sound in your name? Gershon. Oh, it's a G sound. Do you remember which ice makes a G sound? Oh, it's the Gimel? Okay, so I was thinking, let's choose the Gimel to do this work. Which color do you like? Orange? Okay. Gershon, would you like to take this home? Or would you like to turn it into a book, and we'll make more letters the same way, and you can print that as a book, we'll staple it, or we can make it into a banner, or we could choose all the ices, all the letters of your name, and then string them together, and you'll take that home. Which one do you want to do? I'm just giving you ideas of how you can have the child endeared to do more work with this, because he's going to create a banner, or a book, or his name, or even names of other members of his family. Lots of different ways of the same thing where you have the child endeared. Welcome to Textured Aleph-Bais. One side is smooth, the other side is textured, so the child can feel slightly rough. That way they'll know if they're laying it out the right way up or upside down. This is matching. Another way to be certain that I've got this correct would be to show the child what to do next. These are the Aleph-Bais discs and the gel Foamosseous. That was an example of self-correction where I made a mistake, and when I got to the end and realized I didn't have the right pieces to finish it off, I had to go back and find where the mistake was and correct it. The underlying principle here is that when the child figures out that they made a mistake and corrects it, that empowers the child to realize, I can self-correct. I can make a mistake, I'm not afraid, I can take the risk, I'll have the courage to do my best, and when I make a mistake and recognize it, I'll fix it. So that's actually preparing the child for their ultimate independence, where they don't have to go to the mirror to find out if they did it right, or for the mirror to correct the child that you did it wrong. Here's the correct letter that's missing. No, the child's doing that by themselves. So that was an example of what we described in the introduction, where I get to correct myself, and by doing so, I feel, oh my gosh, I found the mistake and I corrected it myself. I'm becoming independent. I'm empowered. Welcome to the yellow Aleph-Bais chart. We have all the Foamosseous that are exactly the same as on this chart, and we're going to do just the first 8, that's the top row. As the children progress, they'll be able to do the whole chart, but initially you're probably going to just do one row for them. If necessary, you can cover the first 3 rows, And so that you're isolating the top row so there's no confusion, no extra information the child has to be distracted by. So here's the simple presentation. So imagine you have a child who's ready to do the entire board. He's finished the entire chart. So now you can have a ritual whereby you have the child know up front that if he finishes the whole chart, he can go to the Mora, the Rebbe, and say, Mora, can I sing the whole chart? And of course you'll say yes. You'll give them a pointer, and then the child will sing Aleph-Bais, face. Well, slightly higher voice. Aleph-Bais, face. Gimel Dalet Hey, Vav Zayin Ches Tes, Yud Kaf Chaf. And then they sing it together, and the one who's finished the work will be the one who leads. As a simple extension of what we've just done, you can have the same Surah Sa'is, but with a different color background, and the child will match to all the letters they've already done. You can mix this up also, which would make it more challenging, and they've got to search for each letter at its right location. The other color would be this one over here. And then, of course, from your Aleph-Bais environment, you have so many different fonts. You've got jigsaw, magnetic, and you've got what's called the movable alphabet, where the child will add to, there's the Gimel, and if he knows where to find the Ches, etc. So all this will be extension work where you're having the children do more of the same, and yet what they're really doing is not just matching the cards which are the same font, but now they're pulling out a different material of Aleph-Bais which is not exactly the same font, and they're matching that too. I'm getting a bit carried away myself now. Today we're going fishing. We're going to fish for Aleph-Bais in the ocean. I'm so excited. Yud. My turn again. I've got another fish. Pay. It must be enough. Wow. Gonna have a lot of guests tonight. So here's the Aleph-Bais fisherman game, and I've emptied out the ocean. You've got 2 fishing rods, which means you can have up to 2 players. And if you're low enough, you can just turn the fishing rod like that, or if you want it to be higher, you can go like this. A lot of fun. Be excited. Let the kids feel your excitement. If you want to put on a fisherman's hat, you can do that too. But the main idea is that the children are endeared to the learning while they're learning Surah Foamosseous. Welcome to digging for Aleph-Bais in the rice. This is a sensorial activity. Of course, you can bury all of these or one entire line and just do one line at a time. So an extension of this is introduce a blindfold. Have the children blindfolded, and then search for the Oasis and match them inside the pad with the blindfold on. We're now up to the magnetic matching game. What we will have are, in this case, 4 different fonts, all magnetic, and we're going to have to match them all up. You can do up to about 8, not more than that, at a time, and you'll select the same 8, Mem, Tas, Yud, Ayin, whichever ones, from each of these different 4 magnetic groups, and lay them out. In this case, we've done just 4, and then I'm going to match them all. Welcome to the Aleph-Bais wooden puzzle, where we're going to match the Aleph-Bais wooden Foamosseous to a picture inside the puzzle, where the first sound of that picture matches the sound of the ice. Dalad, dag, dag. Mezuzah. Mezuzah. Ner, ner. Tzadi, kuf, samach. Nun, ner. Sukkah, tzadi. That doesn't fit. Kuf, samach, sukkah. Tzedakah, tzadi. Kiddush, kiddush. Shofar, shofar. Welcome to memory matching. We've got bottle caps, 3 different types. Each one has an equivalent ice in that set. Hey. That's a ches. Hey. Aleph. Zayin. Tes. Vav. Okay, ready for the next round. I think I'll go backwards this time. Dalad. Yud. Ches. So you can play match memory. This is an extension of the previous match memory bottle caps, and you'll just take turns if you're with a partner until you get a match. I think you know how to play. Welcome to dice racing. That's right, that explains everything. I'm going to play against myself or a partner. If I'm playing against myself, I'm on this side right now. Ooh, tzadi. I got a tzadi. And a nun. There's a nun. And a samach. There's samach. And vase. That's easy. Yud. Yud. Okay, and shin. Okay, now it's my turn. And I switch from the pom-poms to the marbles. And sadi. It's taken. Okay, so I'm not going to do that one. Gimel. So you know what happens now is the other person's got 1 up on me. That's me. And vav. And saf, etc. And by the time you've taken all your turns and filled the tray, then we count up who's got the most. Either pom-poms, in which case I win, or marbles, in which case I win. So this is setting up the kid for success. Literally, it's win-win. It's tea time. That's the name of this activity. Tea time, we are matching fonts. You can choose any ICS you want. In this particular case, the Moira has chosen 6 ICS for our 6 jars, and they are matching, they're similar. So you've got base and vase, kaf, chaf, pay and fey. Pay. Vase, oh that's a cool vase. Vase again. Okay, now I've finished, I'm going to check my work. So how do I know if I got it right? So we'll empty out each one of the cups and lay out the AlephBais letters on their backs to see if they're all the same color, shape. Here I've only got 4, there's 1. Oh, look, that's not right. So this is meant to be, a kaf, I put in a chaf. That's not good. Well, actually, it's a good clue to you, the teacher, to work with me with more letters of kaf and chaf, so I really get it right. So that's a good clue. And here's one also, I mixed up the base with the pay. Okay, let's double check that. Yeah, the back of the pay is this yellow square with the little lines. So I know I've got that one wrong. And these seem to be okay. So from the backs of the AlephBais little discs, the teacher will know which letters the child is mixing up, so they know to work on that more for the child's sake. Today we are AlephBais flower gardening. We're going to go in sequence. This particular sequence is going to be from Ches to Mem. Oh, Ches. Yud. Yud. Kaf. Yeah. Yay. In this material, you'll get enough clay and flowers for the entire AlephBais so that you can choose any sequence you want or the entire AlephBais. Enjoy your gardening. Welcome to hide and peek. Well, it's hide because there are letters on each one of these sticks and one of them is different. It's hiding. And if you want to check if you got the right one when you identify it with the peg, you'll peek at the back and see if you got it right. So let's start. Pay, 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 pay. Different. Yep, I got it right. Saf, saf, saf. Different. Let's have a peek. Yay! Welcome to Tangrams. Aleph-Bais Tangrams. Watch this. We're going to lay out a variety of these shapes. And we're going to construct the Aleph. There we go. What you can do is take a picture and create a poster out of it, or an AlephBais poster as the children progress through all the ICS. You can also make a banner, you can turn it into a book. There's another extension of this which is really worthwhile if the children are ready for the challenge. Watch this. The child has learned to do the Aleph covering all the colors because this is color coded. Now the child will turn the Aleph over and do it from memory. Let's see how well he does. Okay, the moment of truth. Yay, perfect. Welcome to Caterpillar. We're going to sequence the letters of the alphabet starting from Lamed to Saf. So the letters that are already placed in this container are ready for this particular sequence. Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samach. All the way till the end. Ayin, Fei, Sadi, Kuf, Reish, Shin, Saf. Done. Another level of this, you've got a lot of different cards in here, would be to have the sequence where you're going to know how to do this without the control chart. Welcome to dry erase sheets. Ali, remember we learnt with a 3-part lesson the sandpaper letters of the Aleph-Bais? Well, here we've got Aleph, good, Bais, Vase, good, and Gimel. Can you see the Aleph is in color red? Very good. Base is orange, Vase is blue, Gimel is green. So watch what I do and you'll take over. Oh, this red. Oh. Oh. No base. Face. Wow, there's a lot of bases. So once you've finished this, the child has the option to do further work with many different other sheets, about 35 different types of sheets to color in. And this is a dry erase, which means it's a finished work. Or if you have photocopies, then the child can take that work home and demonstrate what they've covered that day. And the fourth application for forming your own letters is the Geo Board. So here you have the elastic bands, rubber bands in America, and here you've got the Aleph. And you go through all of them. If you want, you have the children take pictures of each one. They can make a banner in sequence of the Aleph-Bais. They could spell out their names, take a picture of each one to spell out their entire name. And they can also make a book out of the Foamosseous, all from their own work. Welcome to Shin Sin Tic-Tac-Toe. Who's going to win? So we'll make the gold circles for Shin, Shma, Shma with your right hand. And if you get it right, you put up your right hand for Shma, and Sin is going to be the white one. So my turn first. Shin. Sin. Aha. Shin. Ah, he figured it out. I'll make a line down here. Shin. Oh no, I don't believe it. He won. I won. Phew. I think you got the idea. Welcome to Aleph-Bais ladders. Throw the die. Ooh, got a Vav. Okay, here's the Vav. Now you can do turns with someone, or you can just do it yourself and see how long it takes till, ooh, hey. I got a hey. How complicated is this? Daled. I'm going to fill the ladders. Gimel. My gosh. What are the chances of that? This is Gimel again. I'm slowly filling them. So The idea here is you just get to fill them all, but really it's just identifying the first 6 letters of the alphabet. A second application of the same work is take from the classroom any set of alphabet tiles, and there's a lot of different sets, and you throw the die, hey, and you'll pull the correct accompanying hey over here. Oh, good. There's a hey, and now it's your friend's go, or I'll take the, if I'm going against myself, oh, Dalet. And you slowly fill up the ladder that way till you've identified all the letters. So this would be for the first 6 Foamosseous, and you can of course have other dice which you can put either stickers on to finish off the rest of the Aleph-Bais. Welcome to Cookie Cutter Aleph-Bais. You don't need too much explanation over here. Take out the cookie cutters and use dough or Play-Doh, plasticine. There's another way you can play this, and that's a lot of excitement for the children, is identify what's the first sound in your name. Binyamin, Binyamin, Menachem. Oh, let's find the mem, and let's make a dough with the mem. Oh, Binyamin, Bais. Oh, Gamliel, or David for Dalet, or who's Hannah? That would be Hannah. Hananya, that's also with a hes. Eli. So you'll spell out either the first letter or actually do the whole of their name, and then if it's a dough, you can actually bake it and have their entire name spelled out. So with a little bit of creativity, a lot of activities, a lot of applications for the same material. 5 guesses to figure out which activity this is. Who has a calf? Moshe calls out, oh, very good, you got a calf. Who has a base? Oh, Chaim, you got a base, well done. Now I'm saying out for him, but really he's going to call it out. Vav, who's got a Vav? Oh, so Moshe, he's got a Vav, he calls it out. He's got a Vav, he covers his Vav. Who has a Yud? Oh, Moshe has a Yud. Hey, this is kind of going in turns, isn't it? Who's got a Tess? Now, do I really have to explain the rest of this? Yeah, you guessed the first time. This is Aleph-Bais bingo. Go for it. Welcome to Peg Me. We'll use one card at a time. And Moshe, what he has to do is identify out of all the choices below, which one matches the base. And once he's certain, base, face, cuff, base. If he's certain it's that one, he'll take a peg. You can do this with a paper clip as well, and clip it. How does he know if he got it right? Aha! Self-correcting work, turn it over, yay! He got it right because it's pointing to the little sticker. Well done, Moshe. You want to do another one? Or Chaim, you want to go? Etc. You got a lot of combinations over here. Enjoy! Welcome to Bananagrams in Ivrit. Oh, so we've got all the tiles of the Aleph-Bais, and for preschool, we're not going to be putting together words yet like Rami Kalb and Scrabble, but what you will be doing is matching, let's say, a set of 3 Alephs, or 3 Bais, or 3 Gimel, or a set of sequence of Aleph, Bais, Gimel, or Dalet, Hey, Vav, or Zayin, Ches, Tes. And of course, your other players in the game can add on to your tiles once you lay down. So for example, you've given out, let's say, 11 tiles to each kid, at least 11, depending on how many kids are in the game. You can go up to 15, even up to 20 tiles. We're not trying to make it hard, we're trying to make it easy. And what the children now have to do is come up with sets. So Moshe, it's your turn. And he says, well, actually, I've already got a set. So he puts out his 3 Alephs. So if Chaim doesn't have any sets yet, said, okay, Chaim, you go. And he pulls up, oh, he got an Aleph. So he could hold this to add on to that set over there. Or maybe he's going to use his Aleph to put down his set, and he's got Aleph, Bais, Gimel. Oh, very good. Now it's my turn. I have to pick up. Oh, great. You know what I can do? I've got Hey, Vav, Zayin. That's right, you got a sequence. That's very good. Now it's Chaim's turn, and he picks up, let's say, oh my gosh, I got a Yud. Great. So he's already got 2 Yuds. Now I can go down 3 Yuds, etc. So it's in triplets and Bananagrams, in case you hadn't played it before. A lot of fun. You can adapt it for preschool, you can adapt it for the older grades as well. Enjoy! Welcome to Foamosseous. Yeah, we've got the letters in foam, which means you have a container of the foam letters, lay out these beautifully laminated Foamosseous, which have room for the foam to fit on top, and the kids will pull out one at a time and has to match it. This is sensorial. Now it's my turn again. Oh, I got an end of sadi. Yeah, you have the end of sadi. Depending on which letters you want to master, you can put those cards out and look for its equivalent inside the box container. Oh, shin or sin. Very good. Another application of this is you have a small bowl of water, a very shallow dish of water, and what the child will do is actually put the ice in the water, squeeze it, and then place it on its ice. These are laminated, so they're not going to get damaged by that. It's nothing more educational per se in doing that. It's more sensorial, and that the child is spending more time actually holding the ice. It's a little bit more fun, a little bit more engaging. Children kind of like water. Enjoy. Welcome to AlephBais Lotto. I hope I don't have to explain how to play this either, but just in case. So the children will take turns. Each one can have their own board. There's two versions of this. There's a picture version, and then there's the actual Surah Ais, the letter version. I'll show you both. So a kid will find where to match the talis and et for a pen. Kesef. That's actually the end of ice. Sevivon. Very good. Bubba. Little dolly. Oh, Teva. And then you've got the other side would be for matching the Foamosseous. So over here you can have the child, you're prepared for the child, the letters which are matching this particular board for the child to find the correct one to match it to. And the same with the pictures, or you can play it as a lotto game. In this particular case, we're using it as a matching game. So welcome to the Aleph-Bais Jumbo floor mat. Well, let's get this straight from the start. These are Foamosseous of the Aleph-Bais. They don't really belong directly on the floor, and they certainly don't belong as something that one treads on. So for that reason alone, if you're going to use it for other applications, which I'm going to describe, that's probably really appropriate. But in terms of the covered for the Kedusha of the Foamosseous, it's probably not a good idea, chinuch-wise, to really have the kids walking on these. So even though that's its name, Jumbo Aleph-Bais floor mat, our applications are not about floor mats. Our application is to use this as an activity where either you're going to take the hollow part of the ice, and now the child has to find these, which are on a rug or on a table, and match it to its correct shape, and do the same with all the letters. And another possibility is to actually sequence the Foamosseous as well. So they would go with Aleph-Bais, and you find the Gimel Dalet, etc. There's other games you can have the children play with this, but the main idea is that this is kinesthetic. The children are using their fingers. There's spatial intelligence involved over here. Sequencing always has to do with mathematical intelligence. There's a lot of modalities taking place in the same activity. Enjoy. Welcome to Shaving Cream, Aleph-Bais. This ought to be fun, and if not, something's wrong. Okay, guess what's next? Let's smooth it out. Oh, there's plenty of shaving cream here. Do you think the children will object to this? I'm not really sure, I doubt it. Now, ask them to prepare in advance, let's say 1 to 3 Foamosseous. You can ask them to choose any ice they like. It could be their favorite if there's such a thing. Oh, Menachem. Oh, I wondered why you chose a mem. Can you trace it for me? Thank you. Can you now trace it inside the foam? Oh, yes, please. Okay, let's see how well you do. Is that clear? Sort of. Okay, you want to do it again, or do you want to do another one? I'll do another one. Oh, Rebbe, could I take a photo of it? Sure. You want to take a photo of a few of them? Yeah, Rebbe. Now, how long do you think they could be busy with this, doing a number of Foamosseous? So my guess is not more than a few, let's say 2 or 3 hours. I think I made it a little bit too deep. My attempt to reish for Raphael. Okay, that's very good. Oh, Menachem, you want to do a nun as well? Oh, okay. So you want to do the mem and then the nun, and you want to spell out your whole name. You want to take a photo of each one and then put them together, make a banner with your name, Menachem, out of shaving cream? Go for it. Okay, enjoy. Aleph-Bais, Bais, Aleph-Bais, Bais, Gimel Dalet Hey, Gimel Dalet Hey. Well, these are poster size, and if you've got enough wall space, you really want to put the entire Aleph-Bais either all black along the wall, so that every morning you're going to do what I call routine and ritual, where you'll sing it together with the children. Aleph-Bais, Bais, Aleph-Bais, Bais, Gimel Dalet Hey. Or you can, if you want to do the Chazara version, Aleph-Bais, Bais, Aleph-Bais, Bais, Gimel Dalet Hey, so that you're repeating the first three every time. The other version is multicolor, psychedelic. Aleph-Bais, Bais, Aleph-Bais, Bais, Gimel Dalet Hey, Gimel Dalet Hey, Vav Zayin Ches Tes. These are just absolutely astonishingly beautiful and aesthetically appealing, so that the children are really endeared to the learning of the Foamosseous. If you have them as a banner on the wall every single day, or if you want to turn this into a banner and unroll it each day so that you sing it routine and ritual every single morning. We mentioned this in the introduction, but the real point here is that by osmosis, the children are getting the gift of the Aleph-Bais and its name and its beginning sound every single morning, informally, before they actually learn the names of the Foamosseous and their first sounds. Because as you will recall in the introduction, we talked about three components to learning the Aleph-Bais for preschool, starting with about 3 years old. And that is, number 1, Suras Ais, number 2, the beginning sound, and number 3, the name of the letter. Of those 3, that's actually the correct order in which to really teach the children. So even though people will say, you have to tell them the name, it's true, they should know the name, but in terms of the actual reading, what's needed is to identify the tzura of every single Ais and its beginning sound, except of course for Aleph, which is silent, and Ayin, which if you're not Sephardi is also silent. If you're Sephardi, you know it's a guttural. Okay, so these are just beautiful materials for you to enhance the classroom, but most importantly, to endear the children to the learning of Aleph-Bais in so many modalities, so many different learning styles, so that the children will, Be'ezrat Hashem, have mastery of every single surah, the shape of every letter, and have the clear distinction in their mind between Bais, Face, Gimel, Nun, Mem, Tes, all the letters that are easily confused. The children, having done so many materials, matching materials, and identifying the shape of every single letter, they will, Be'ezrat Hashem, have total mastery of all the Foamosseous of the Aleph-Bais in preparation for the Nekudos. Stay tuned.